Hello and welcome to this how-to video about x-dream-Fabrik, the stories module. The stories module is the place where a new story is being created from incoming informations such as all notes, feeds, footage, uploads, editing results, the archive and so on. Such information could have been arranged in the editorial board, but that's an option. From there, we definitely want to create a story, and that's done in the stories panel. The stories has the function to drive cross-media publication. And for that reason, a story exists in two main types of representations. One is the nonlinear and the other one is the linear. In the nonlinear, we prepare content to be published on a web page, and the same also on social media. Now, on the web page you can get quite extensive, writing up a long article. On the social media you need to be shorter. So for instance on X you have just some characters and for a short statement. On YouTube you can have a video and a headline, probably a little bit of a description, not more. So they all differ a little bit, but they are all following kind of one type of information. And that is what we'll see in a moment. And when we talk about linear, things are a little bit more complex because we have video for the TV, we have audio for the radio. For the TV, we have not only videos that we play back to back, we have a live production in the studio. So we have cameras that we switch to, and there's someone sitting in front of him who's speaking. So he needs a text for his prompter to read. The person that does the voice-over for the insert clips, he also needs text, so on a prompter. There might be a graphic, a lower third that is displayed with both types of videos. And when it's a studio production, we probably have a background screen that is playing a video showing a nice animation. So more information to store. In radio, you could think that's all way simpler. Yes, that's true. But today we are more and more moving to visual radio, so we treat radio a little bit like TV with some specialties. Now let's look on the user interface. Here I have already loaded x-dream-Fabrik. It's in the middle of the screen where we see the stories module. Stories obviously belong to the storytelling workspace, and for that reason that is selected here already. I've loaded a story that we have created a while ago for a trade show, and what we can see here, it has some metadata. So it's from a category, it has keywords, it has a description. This information is mainly to search for stories, because here in this search field we are not only searching for a title, we are searching for the complete metadata set. And so with this kind of full text search we have a possibility for quite a versatile search. Then on the top you will see that we have versions. We'll come back to this then in a moment. Below there is the actual content. I've now scrolled down a little bit, and here we have the three tabs that I spoke about earlier: the nonlinear, the linear for TV, and the linear for radio. Let's stay for a moment with the nonlinear. So at the end of the day, you can understand this as like an editor for CMS like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal or whatsoever, that based on building blocks creates a story, so or an article. That typically on a CMS it's called an article. And that consists from a headline, for instance, from a paragraph, another headline, so like a subheadline, and then some videos, again a headline, could be with more text as we see it here at the very, very end. The way how to operate it is quite simple. When we switch into the editing mode, that is done with this pencil symbol, we see more details on one hand, but when we go to the very, very end, you see that we have a choose option, and we can say, I want to add another, for instance, paragraph here. That gives me the possibility that I'm now typing in some more text, and this is the end of the story. Sorry. Now I've extended that a little bit. So When I save it, I have now saved a new subversion of that story. About versioning, I will come back to this in a moment. Then we have the linear. Linear is, as I said, similar but not the same. Let's assume that we want to produce a live show, and for that reason the same story needs to have a different representation, because it starts obviously as always with an opener, and then we see the moderator, the anchorman, speaking in the studio. So for that reason we switch to a live input. Can be one or multiple cameras, and we have this person to read a text. And that is shown here in the middle. So this text that we edit here is then shown on a prompter. But there's a little bit more, and when we click on here, we see there's a placeholder and there is also some graphical information. Again, we need to switch to the editing mode, and that gives us the ability to use this like hamburger menu, where we get more details about this particular rundown item. As said, it's a live input. We have a secondary asset. In this case, it's a placeholder, but the purpose here is that we, for instance, show a background video on a video wall behind the moderator, for instance. We have the text, that is the text shown on the prompter, and we have graphics, but not in terms of like a picture file or graphics file, but in terms of metadata that is sent to a graphics engine, and that creates that graphic layer in real time. So this is for a lower third, where we have two lanes. One shows the name of the speaker and the other one shows the topic of that current news item, for instance. Then a little bit further down, let me close that again. We have one of the first inserts, so a video that is being played back. Works kind of the same. We have an asset loaded from the repository, and we can trim it, we can give graphical overlays if needed, and again we do have text. So this is the text that was used to create this asset, or is used to create this asset for the voiceover, and we can have a graphic layer if needed. And that goes on like this again and again and again. So next is like a headline. So this is not really used in the live production. It's more like a divider here for orientation. Then we switch again to live and again to a file, and that repeats several times. That way we are building up not a complete show. Here we are building up a story. So that means a story can be more than one person talking in front of the camera, or more than just showing one video. It can be a short sequence of that. How we create shows from that stories, that's something that I will show you in the next video. Let's quickly show to the radio side. That is similar. We have also live. Live in this case means the microphone. It can go along with a video as well. As said, when we have a visual radio setup, then there is not much difference between the TV and the radio. It's probably that we have a more simple studio setup, so no background videos, no video wall, but still also in visual radio we might have video clips, that's for instance music clips, or we have background videos with a graphic overlay where we show the weather forecast, the traffic information, other cultural information, and we play music together with this. Then again, we have multiple sources. We have the video, we have the audio, so the music, we have the graphic layer, so the text layer, and at the end of the day, it is nearly the exact same as we have prepared earlier for the live TV. Now, quickly before we finish here, what is about this versioning? So let me save my changes. As said earlier, a story consists from metadata, and the most important metadata is the approval condition. This story here is already approved, but I can unapprove it, so suspend it. And now everyone would see it that's not ready to go, it is pending. And simply by pressing the approve button again, I now put it into the published condition. That is seen later on in the shows and from there to the showrunner. So he knows about the condition of that story. Now, in addition to that, as I said earlier, there are versions. And why do we have different versions? Imagine a story is created by information that came in the morning, and at 9 o'clock we had a first announcement. So for instance, on X, so on social media, or later on in the radio. Now we get more information, we create a next version of the story that is good for the noon TV show. And again, it goes on, more information comes in the evening we have the extensive version of that. And for that, we don't want to create always a new story. We are lazy. We want to reuse what we have already prepared earlier. So we switch the story into the editing mode, and here on the top, you have probably seen it earlier, there is the new version button. What it does, it creates a new version. It's obvious, and that is a copy of all the earlier one. We can give it a name. Let's say it's version 3. Let's keep that, and let's say this is evening show. Why not? Or evening news. Save it, and now here in this drop down we have a new version, version number 3. And this very moment is identical to version number 2 because I have not changed anything. But you got it already. Now I can do all the changes that are not influencing the earlier version number 2. So this can go on air as it is prepared this very moment. It's approved, it's good for now, but I can work already on the next version for the evening show, for instance. How this is then done is something that I will show you in the next video, that is about how to create shows. For the moment, all I need to do, I save it and we are done. Thank you so much for watching this video.